Hey, just a quick heads up. This podcast is now called Becoming the Wealthy You. I changed the name because I never want you to feel like you have to already be wealthy to be here. I work with women who are doing well in their careers or businesses, but they're not building wealth the way they want to yet. This podcast is here to help you change all of that. If you're ready to start making real progress, you're in the right place. Now, let's get into the episode. You are listening to the Becoming the Wealthy You podcast with Jermaine Foley. If you're a woman who makes good money in your career or business, but you're not building wealth like you want to, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how to stop overspending, break free from the cycle of debt, save lots of cash, and become the wealthy woman you were born to be. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I have a question for you. What if the amount of money you're earning right now is just scratching the surface of your true potential? Well, that is what we're going to talk about today. That is the question I really want you to reflect on, because we are continuing in our series around the skills of money. And today we're talking about the skill of earning money. Just like there are skills you can learn around saving money and budgeting and managing your money and getting out of debt, you can also hone in on the skills of earning money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to really look at how to shift your mindset around earning. We're going to explore where money actually comes from. Hint, it is not your time. And we're going to open up ourselves to new income possibilities. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I really want to talk to you all about shifting your mindset around earning more money. We all can probably find some limiting beliefs that we have around our income earning potential. And some of those thoughts are sneaky, like you don't even really know that they're limiting. They're just things that you believe and you've been taught to believe. And so you're believing those things. But what's happening is it's preventing you from going out into the world and earning more money. It's preventing you from growing your income. So here are some of the beliefs that I have believed myself and some of my clients believe. A big one is I should just be grateful for what I have, especially if you're already doing well, which most of you are. You're earning good money in your careers or your businesses, and you make good money, right? You make plenty of money to be able to live a comfortable life. And whenever you have the idea of earning more, your brain comes back with, oh, you should just be grateful for what you have. But here's what I want you to know. You can be so appreciative and grateful for what you have right now, what you're earning right now, and still desire to earn more. And actually, that's the best place to earn money from. Is from a place of abundance, from a place of like, I am so grateful for all of the money that I have in my life, all of the money that I earn. And it will be so cool if I earned more, because if I earn more, I can live out my dreams. I can live a more expansive life. I can help more people. I can have a bigger impact. I can create generational wealth. Right? But when we limit ourselves because we think I should just be grateful for what I have, then you prevent yourself from being able to live the full life that you desire to live. And you prevent yourself from being able to make the impact, right? Because sometimes, or really all the time, when you're earning more, that means you're having a bigger impact. People pay you for the value and impact you have on their lives. If it's through your employer, if you're employed, or if you have your own business. People don't pay you just to exist. They pay you for the impact. They pay you for the value. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in a minute. The other thought that I know some of us can have is, I don't want to be greedy. It's like the cousin thought to, I should just be grateful for what I have. But what if desiring to earn more money has nothing to do with greed? Greed is a sin, right? It is where you want to have more and you don't care about who you have to step over, who you have to hurt, who you have to harm in order to get it, right? So I'm not talking to anyone who's willing to do bad things to other people in order to have more for themselves. That's not it at all. I'm talking to people who want to help others and serve others and make the world a better place and be open to receiving money in exchange for that. Let's just debunk that if you want more money, you're automatically greedy. No. The only way you're greedy is if you're willing to harm other people in order to get more money. But if you're willing to get more money through honest ways, ways that can enhance others' lives, ways that can make the world a better place, that doesn't make you greedy. That makes you impactful. That makes you helpful. That makes you good. The other thought is this one. This is just what people in my field make. This is a huge one. I want you to think about a teacher, because in society, teachers do have a limited amount of money they can make in their career as far as what their school district is willing to pay them. My husband works in the school district, and I know for sure that the teacher's salary is capped at a certain level. But that doesn't mean that you can't make money outside of teaching in a classroom. If you're a teacher, you can make money outside of the classroom as well as inside of the classroom if you want to. I'll give you an example. There was a lady that I listened to her testimony, and it was so good. Her story was so good. She was a teacher, and she had this really good knack for helping third graders read. She had this special touch, right? And all the parents wanted their kids in her classroom. But of course, she could only hold so many. And so the principal and the superintendent of the school district got wind of how successful she was at teaching third graders how to read, that they had her host workshops for the other third grade teachers so that they can use her techniques as well. And their students started to flourish. So she got the idea like, oh my gosh, there are so many third grade teachers in the United States. What if I just started hosting workshops to teach my strategy to teachers? So she did this on her own time over Zoom. She, was part of teacher Facebook groups. She was part of these teaching organizations. And she said, hey, meet me on Zoom if you want to know my strategies. And people did want to know, and they paid to attend her workshops. Now she's a multi-millionaire teaching teachers how to help their students read. And she's a teacher, you all. So much so that she retired from the classroom, and now this is what she does full time. So don't accept the limiting beliefs that your profession only pays a certain amount of money, and that is where you have to stay. I'll give you another example that's on another end of the spectrum. Think of a doctor, right? They make more money, but again, depending on their specialty and depending on where they live, their income can be limited, right? And so I know of several doctors who are passionate about health and wellness who started coaching on the side, helping women lose weight. And they were so successful at that they earned way more than they could ever earn in their practice. And so again, they retired from medicine and became full-time coaches teaching women, regular women, how to be more healthy, how to lose weight. And they weren't acting as their doctor at all. They were acting as their coach. But the doctors had a different perspective, right? Not only did they have the strategies, but they had the medical terminologies. They could talk to their clients about what's actually happening within their bodies. And people really resonated with that. So no matter where you are, no matter who you are, you can make more money. You may not be able to do it within your corporate job or your government job, right? But that doesn't stop you from doing it outside of that by using your human ingenuity, your passions, your talents to offer help to the world and to increase your income. The final mindset that I really want to address here is this: making more money means more stress. You know that old saying, more money, more problems? This one is one that I really want to speak to, because sometimes we think, especially if we're already the successful one in the family, and we often get people, asking for money or thinking that you should be able to help them because you make way more than them, or maybe every time you go out to dinner, you feel like you need to pick up the tab because you make more than your friends or your family. If that's you, I want you to know that this could be a thought that's keeping you stuck. You might be thinking like, oh my gosh, if I make more, then everyone is going to expect that I, give them money or pick up the tab. And that thought could be limiting you from even going for more. And I just want to offer with this episode, we're not going to get deeper into how you can, let go of that obligation. That might be for another episode. But at this point, I just want you to be aware of it. If you find yourself constantly picking up the check, constantly giving people money in your family because you're the successful one, then you may have this thought that's blocking you. I was coaching a woman on this recently, and sometimes you just have to let the discomfort be there. So her issue was she has a lot of friends and she makes really good money. Her friends are like flight attendants and teachers, and they just make less, or maybe even stay-at-home moms. And if they're ever out, she feels obligated to pick up the tab. And she thinks she should because she makes more, right? And she thinks she should because, what are they going to think about her if she doesn't, right? They're going to think she's greedy or that she's selfish. And the truth is, they don't ask her to pick up the tab. This is something that she just automatically does. And so I gave her an exercise around just allowing herself to feel the discomfort of the waitress coming, putting the tab on the table, and her not just grabbing it. Or when the waitress comes to the table and asks, okay, how are we splitting this up? Is this all on one bill or multiple bills? Just stay silent and let them say, separate, please. I think I'm kind of speaking from experience here as well, but I know this is a big deal, right? And so we could be limiting ourselves from like making more because we think we'll have to give more. And giving, there's nothing wrong with that, but we don't want to do it from a place of obligation. We want to do it from a place of love, from a place of generosity and things like that. Okay, we just handled 4 really deep-seated mindsets that could be preventing you from making more money. So if you can relate, I want you to really start reflecting on it and journaling on it and really untangling those thoughts, because they are the ones that are keeping you stuck at the income level you're at, even though you really desire to be making more. So here are the mindsets I want you to embrace. 1, money can come from outside of my job. I've got something for you. If you make good money, but overspending is keeping you stuck in the cycle of credit card debt with little to no savings, you're invited to book a financial clarity consultation with me, yours truly. This is for you if you're ready for real support, not just more free advice that can be found on Google or quick fixes that never really solve the problem. Let's be honest, you know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it. Not because you're undisciplined or bad with money, but because of patterns you were never taught to undo. But that's where I come in. A financial clarity consultation is a private session where we'll look at where you are, where you want to go, and what's standing in the way. And if we both agree that working together is the best next step, I'll tell you how we can move forward inside of my coaching program, the Wealthy Woman's Academy, which is private one-on-one coaching, just me, you, and your money. And if you're worried that getting your finances in order will mean giving up everything you love, don't. My philosophy is rooted in what I call the do both method. I believe you can build wealth and enjoy your life at the same time. That means yes, you can still vacation and say yes to things that matter. You'll leave this session with more clarity than you've had in a long time, plus real insight on what to do next to solve your money issues for good. If that sounds like what you've been needing, you're invited to go to jermainefoley.com/consult to book your session. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/consult, or simply visit the show notes. Now let's jump back into the episode. 2, what I earn now is my floor, not my ceiling. 3, money comes from the value I create, not the hours I work. And I can be deeply grateful for what I have and still desire more. And finally, the more I earn, the more freedom and impact I can have. So now that we've tackled the mindset, let's look at where money actually comes from. Because I think a lot of us grew up thinking that money comes from our time, right? Because we sometimes get paid by the hour. Like, oh, I make $100 an hour or $50 an hour or $20 an hour, right? When we got our first job, it probably was like $5 an hour, $7 an hour, depending on how old you are. But I want you to know that even though most of us are taught to tie our income to time, real wealth comes from the value you bring to others. Value is what people are willing to pay for because it solves a problem, adds joy to their lives, or makes their lives easier. Adding value simply means that you're helping people. You're helping others either directly if you have your own business or indirectly if you work for a company. You provide value through your knowledge, your education, your insights, or your support. It could also come from the skills you have or the services you provide. It could come from your creativity, your ingenuity, your organization, or leadership skills. It could also come from providing entertainment, joy, and helping others relieve stress. When you think about entertainers, like going to a movie or comedians or professional basketball players, what they're doing is they're providing people with entertainment, and entertainment is valuable, so people will pay for it. So if you are wanting to make more money, you have to create more value. And if you want to create more value, then here are some questions you can ask yourself. What comes naturally to me? Like, what am I just naturally good at? What do people often come to me for advice or help with? What do I love to do even without getting paid? These answers can reveal your zone of genius, the easiest and most fulfilling place to create additional income from. So for instance, I'll take myself as an example. You all know my story. I paid off over $200,000 worth of debt, and I was able to do it through my do both method, where I was able to build wealth and enjoy life at the same time. And when I told my story and encouraged other people with my insights, people started asking me to help them, and I would do it for free. And eventually, I had an idea that maybe I can turn this into a business, and that's what I've done. So you could have something similar. I know people who are good at baking, and they create these beautiful cakes and they sell those. I gave you the example of the teacher who took her expertise and they turned it into a business. I gave you the example of the doctor who took her expertise beyond clinical practice and started her own business and made way more than she could ever make as a doctor. So I want you to know that you have something inside of you that you're passionate about, and do not discount it. Please, please, please do not discount your passions. Do not discount what you're good at. You can monetize those things. Now, you can monetize it either through your career, by showing up more powerfully, solving problems, asking for stretch opportunities, and seeking promotions. Or you can go outside of your full-time career and you can create a side business, packaging your skills, your ideas, and your talents to help others on your own. You could also do it by investing. Some of us are really interested in investing, maybe in real estate, where you buy a property and you provide value to others by allowing them to live in your home and you collect rent for it. I have a friend who has Airbnbs all over Nashville, and that's how she provides value, right? She provides a welcoming, clean space for people who are going to Nashville for like bachelorette parties or just girls' weekends or whatever. And she even has homes that are themed, like Dolly Parton themed or Barbie themed, right? So she's providing value even beyond just a regular Airbnb. She's making them themed and more geared towards women who are out for, a nice weekend or a bachelorette party. So let your creative juices flow. You can start a side business. You can start a real estate business, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, or you can go deeper in your current career. And here's a note of caution that I really want to offer you. Do not undervalue your genius. Many women overlook what they are naturally good at, what comes easy to them, because they don't think it's special. You don't think it's special because it's easy for you. It's just what you do. Oh, I just cook, or I'm just good at helping people with their marriage. I'm just good at helping people with their money. I'm just good at hair. I'm just good at design. Whatever it is, you could be someone that everybody goes to when they need fashion advice, right? You can start a fashion business. You can start a style business. There's so many things you can do. And I want you to not believe the lie that, oh, no one would pay for this, or this is not a business. This is just my passion. Most businesses are born out of passion. So do not let your brain trick you out of growth and opportunity because it wants to keep you stuck by believing lies like, oh, this isn't something that someone would pay for. I want you to reframe it instead, because what feels obvious and easy to you might be exactly what someone else is willing to pay for. So we've talked about mindset, opening yourself up to let go of those limiting beliefs that will keep you stuck in the same income bracket. Then we talked about where you could get this value from. Where can you provide value? You can do it in your career. You can start a side business, or it could be through investments. Whatever speaks to you, hold on to it. Whatever I'm saying right now that resonates with you, if you have like this, oh, that would be cool, like follow that. Don't let that idea disappear and never become a thing. Because a lot of times we get these ideas, we get these aha moments, and we ignore them. And then we forget all about them. And that was our moment. That was our chance to do something different, to start that business or the pathway to the promotion that you really desire. Do not let your ideas just dissolve. Now let's go on to the final section of this episode, which is all about becoming open to new possibilities. First, I want you to know, we've already kind of addressed this. You got to think beyond your paycheck. Yes, you can definitely make more money in your job, 100%. But if you really want to tap into that unlimited income potential that I talked about earlier, then you really want to think outside of the paycheck, okay? And here's what I really want you to understand about that. When you work for someone, they've already done the hard part, right? They've already built the business, gotten the clients, provided the value, and now they're at a point where they need to hire someone to help them. And with that, you get a paycheck every other week, every month, or every week, however you are paid. It's consistent, it's predictable, you know exactly how much you're going to get paid, and there's usually a range of how much they're willing to pay people. There's a floor and there's a ceiling. But when you step outside of working for someone else and you start your own side business, the way you get paid is different. It's not based on how much time you put in. It's not based on any of that. You may put in a lot of time, a lot of effort before you get that first win. Let's go back to the lady who was a teacher. She may have done 20 workshops for free before she decided to start taking payment. Or maybe she offered her paid services and the teachers didn't take her up on it right away, but she didn't give up, right? So that's the thing you have to know about starting your own business. You cannot give up if the money doesn't come right away, okay? A great analogy to use is the analogy of the farmer. Like a farmer, you will plant seeds through giving value and helping people for free, but the harvest will not happen overnight. You may educate and offer insights for months or years before someone will learn about you, trust you, and buy from you. If you work for an employer, like I said earlier, this is what they did at the beginning, and they hired you to help them serve the customers that they created, and you get paid consistently and immediately and predictably for the value that you provide to your employer. But when you have your own business, money may not come consistently. It's just part of the process. So don't let that discourage you from continuing to provide value, even if it's through social media, if it's through word of mouth, if it's through referrals, if it's through you just telling people that you can help them. Do not waver on that. Be consistent. Income from your business is a result of intentionally planting seeds, nurturing those seeds, and staying consistent. This is why I believe so many people say that small businesses fail. Now, I will give a caveat here. If you have a brick and mortar and you have a lot of overhead, like your overhead is high, you may not have a ton of time to do this. But if you're doing it online, if you have an online coaching business, or if you are making cakes for people or teaching people a skill, you don't have a lot of overhead. You shouldn't have a lot of overhead. And you can use social media, you can use podcasting, you can use email marketing. There's so many things you can use to help your clients before they ever pay you. It's the concept of giving value ahead of time. You're like that farmer. You're planting your seeds knowing that you're not going to get a harvest right away. You never see a farmer getting frustrated or discouraged if their seed doesn't produce a harvest immediately. They're not expecting that at all. They have the expectation that as long as they take care of those seeds and they continue to plant and nurture and grow them, that they will have a harvest in harvest time. And you have to have that same mentality when it comes to your side business. It's very different than having an employer or being paid by an employer. So if you have a business idea that can be very low overhead, go for it, but give yourself time, be patient. A lot of times we see these overnight successes and they're not successful overnight. It took them years to get to where they are, but now you're seeing them on the other side of all of that value giving and planting seeds and nurturing those seeds, right? So if that is what you have a desire to do, don't let impatience stop you, and don't let the fact that you are used to getting paid regularly from an employer or a job make you think that that's how your side business is going to work. Your side business is going to be different. This is why I do not recommend that you quit your job to start a business if that business isn't able to sustain you financially, because it could take time before that happens. Now, there are so many other teachings about this. The Bible talks about sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow. As you sow value and you help people, you will reap if you do not give up. Karma is another concept that some people refer to. Karma states that all actions have consequences which will affect the doer of the action at some future time. So this is not just talking about negative actions. This is also talking about positive actions. So if you put out actions that are positive, you will get positive consequences. If you put out actions that are negative, you will get negative consequences. So for this podcast, of course, we're talking about positive actions. You're helping people, you're providing value, you're giving them hope and encouragement. So again, you will expect to get something positive in return. And the final concept I want to share with you is Newton's law of motion, which states that every action creates a reaction. So when you plant seeds of value through consistent action, opportunity and income will begin to respond. So let's recap all that we talked about today. The skill of earning money comes down to your mindset, the value you create, and your openness to possibilities. And remember, you have to know that making money in a side business, if that's the route you're going to go, is going to look differently than making money from a job. So reflect. What are you good at? What do people already seek you out for? What is your specialty? That is where you want to start with thinking about how you can make more money. Remember, your income is not a fixed number. It's flexible and it will grow as you grow. All right. I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Wait, before you go, have you checked out my free class? It's all about the steps you need to take if you want to build wealth without going on a strict budget. To sign up, simply go to jermainefoley.com/wealth class. That's Jermaine with a G, foley.com/wealth class. See you in there.